Hey chaps, this is Yuzora, and today we'll be talking about the new British Tier 8 premium cruiser, the Hampshire. And, well, as a first look, you might think, well, it's some kind of British Atago. And overall, you would be right. As in, obviously there is the turret setup, which is incredibly similar to the Atago, with the added bonus that the second turret can actually rotate at 360 degrees. Which is quite nice actually, because when you're kiting away, you will have no problem keeping at least 4 turrets on target at almost all time. But other than that, compared to, well, actually all the other damage dealing cruisers at tier 8, the Hampshire is taking some features from the British light cruisers. Namely, she can only fire AP shells, but it's, you know, the usual improved arming threshold, improved fuse timer, improved autobot angles, you know the deal. But on top of that, compared to the Albemarle, she has the nice advantage of getting improved ballistics and improved penetrations. Although, it's only truly improved below something like 13 or 14 kilometers. After that, don't have that much advantage in terms of penetration. It's pretty insignificant difference. Also, just like the British light cruisers, she gets improved her accelerations, but because there's a massive but, for whatever reason, whenever you are turning, well, she bleeds a ton of speed. Like, you just make a tiny bit of turn and you just drop down to 24 knots for whatever reason, and, well, it's not really helping the ship because, as a matter of fact, she's quite slow. In fact, I think she's the slowest at tier 8 for cruisers, because the base speed is only 30 knots, so if the flag it's something like 31.5 normally. Yes, with the 5%, yes, it's 31.5. And yeah, that's actually a fairly painful point with this ship, because as I said at the start, she can only fire AP shells. So any sort of angling will be a pain in the ass to deal with. And as such, all you want to do is get on the broadside of target, so generally flanking maneuvers. The problem is that if you don't get that kind of positioning with nice island covers all around, and enemy ships just, well, you know, being very nice and generous, giving me quite a bit of broadside. Well, with the slow speed of the ship, she will actually take ages to get in proper position for that. Now, of course, the improved penetration angles help a bit, but at some point, yeah, they're not really enough. And when you think actually about it, well, that ship is actually quite disappointing in terms of damage cruisers, because there is just so many of them already at tier 8. Like, let's see, you have Charles Martel, you have obviously the Atago, you have the Albemarle, you have the Cheshire, you have the Mines, the Bayard, etc, etc. So at this point, if you want to stay as a relevant damage dealer, well, you have to bring something substantial on the market. Now, obviously, I'm not talking about power creeping everything else, having whatever new gimmick Wargame might find so that you're the new top dog. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying that the ship should have proper value, something that makes her interesting in her own way. And yeah, I'm sure, but well, she doesn't really have anything special. I mean, sure, the AP with the short fuse, it's nice to blab destroyers when you can. But yeah, that's about it. She's... Well, actually, it's still talking about the AP shells. They actually come with a fairly substantial downside, in my opinion. So, the little trick with the short AP, the short fuse timer, is that any sort of armor scheme that won't be the all or nothing, so you know, stuff like on the US cruisers or on the British light cruisers and such. So anything with an exposed citadel. On these ships, well, there is no problem. The AP will do the job, will be able to get citadels and such. On stuff such as Total Back or Space Armor, you're actually getting screwed, because the shells will detonate way before getting anywhere near the citadel. Now, obviously you will still get the penetration damage, but on one end, penetration damage can be healed. Well, healed a lot more, because citadel damage can still be healed, but at a much lower rate. And on the other, well, she can't properly punish ships that would give her broadside. And, well, these days there are more and more of these ships with complex, with a non-exposed citadel. So the more the time will pass, the more problems she will have to get big chunks of damage on enemy cruisers that would properly influence the game. And yeah, when you don't get these broadside cruisers with exposed citadel, well, you're just going to be stuck with boring damage farming, and since you just fire AP shells, it's also not the most efficient damage farming. It's not like with, well, literally any other tier 8 damage dealer with HE shells that can also get the fire damage going, especially on battleships or on large cruisers. Well, no, here you're just spamming your AP shells, and that's it. Now, obviously you also have torpedoes, which can be nice when you are completely stuck against, for example, a battleship anchored near an island born, and well, the shells won't do anything to it. So you can just close the distance from stealth, drop the torpedoes one by one, and if things go well, you will get some good damage from these torps.
Problem solved, sir.
But yeah, other than that, Cheshire just doesn't bring anything worthy on the table. Especially because, yeah, now we have to talk about the way you can get the ship. Well, for now it's quite simple. The ship will only be available through random bundles, and it's 35 in total, with each bundle costing 1,000 doubloons. Or alternatively, it's how is it called in the Admiral pack on the premium shop? You know, the pack that comes with the ship, a captain, and God knows what else items, which cost your first kidney and your one kidney and your firstborn. So yeah, not really sure I would like to either gamble on it or to pay so much for what is essentially a pretty disappointing damage dealing cruiser. Now, if you still want the ship, you will actually have to wait until early 2023. Don't ask me why Wargaming decided to go this way in terms of availability for this ship. I just don't know. It's just now it's it's actually you could call that an early access with random bundles, or you have to pay a crap ton of money to get it. I guess it's early access now. Whatever. But yeah, if you truly want this ship, well, you have to wait. Also, in the bundles, you will also be able to get the skin that you can see on the screen right now. It's called a priority skin, I think. It's something with pirates. But yeah, that is actually a nice skin, and it pains me to see that it will be locked in random bundles, at least for now. Also on the, as I was saying, the Admiral pack, I think it will also be available in there. But yeah, it's kind of sad. Aesthetically speaking, the skin is very nice, with the wooden texture, which goes pretty well. The animated wings thingy on the stern, plus the skulls and bones on the turrets. That's a pretty nice skin, I have to say. Again, too bad that it's locked behind gambling or yeah, I'm actually not even sure if it's in the Admiral bundle. Not sure anymore. Anyway, actually, one more thing that I forgot to talk about with this ship. The armor on it is pretty damn sad. Maybe for the turrets that are covered with 25mm. So literally anything can damage them, from HE to random AP penetrations. And on the hull itself, well, you have a gigantic bow that doesn't stop on the first turret, it actually stops after the third one. So you have an enormous 25mm bow at the front. You have a somewhat nice 30mm deck on the middle, so that can help with battleship AP. And other than that, the citadel is small, which on one side is kind of nice, but at the same time it means that the main belt is equally small, so it doesn't help you. It actually doesn't help you at all with bouncing shells or resisting from HE shells. That's one of the big problems of this ship. You don't get any sort of Reaper party, and the armor is really bad, which is actually why I was so happy of getting these islands covers, because as you saw, the moment I moved out, I was just getting chunked. I was just getting melted away. So yeah, overall, the Hampshire, no thanks. If you want a British heavy cruiser as a premium, I would say just get a Cheshire, but yeah, the Cheshire, it's a bit of a guilty pleasure for me. It's not that great, but I don't know, I like this ship somehow. Anyway, that's all for me, guys. Thanks for watching, and see you later.